started frantic lobbying to be in the president's good books. The Punch newspaper reports that some ministers who are afraid of being dropped from the federal cabinet and their godfathers have intensified lobbying, seeking the intervention of the president's allies and associates, including the chief of staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, for a soft landing. Whilst expectations are high to see the outcome of this shakeup, let us analyze to what extent can this enhance better performance. I have in the studios my guest, who is an anti-corruption activist and also the National Secretary, Coalition of United Political Parties, Peter Ahmed. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you.
And I also must apologize, for the stress you actually went through trying to locate this place. I understand this is a new terrain for you.
Yeah, it's a new terrain, and I'm also impressed with this.
And I hope you would oblige when we call you, next time.
Anything for Nigeria.
Thank you very much. All right. I know this is not the first time we're having this conversation. We've had, a similar conversation, but of course, a different fora. But again, so much is going on at the moment, with a lot to take in. According to reports, lobbying has actually intensified, amongst these ministers, just in a bid to retain their positions. But, for starters, what exactly do you make of, this development coming from this, Tinubu-led administration?
First of all, we have to understand what a shake-up is. It's about a head of government, trying to reshuffle, trying to rearrange or reorganize his cabinet in a way that will bring optimal performance for the development of the country. For me, it's not a surprising thing. I don't think it should be surprising to many Nigerians because of the level of poverty, the level of underdevelopment, the level of non-performance of those who are currently in office. It shouldn't be a new thing for any Nigerian to be wondering, why should there be a shake-up? The shake-up is imminent. I think it should have been done long ago. Because 6 months into his administration, I found out that there was no policy direction, there was no policy, they call it proper planning and policy management strategy in place. And those for you, I don't want what he wants to do to be a repeat of what he has done.
Okay.
Because a repeat of what he has done would be more disastrous to Nigerians. Because what he did before was giving people appointment based on political consideration, based on tribal consideration and affiliations, and that shouldn't be good for any government. Because if you look at the composition of his cabinet, it tends towards one zone, and it tends towards a situation whereby very critical ministries were given to people who had worked with him before in Lagos, and that shows that he was not interested in trying to run around the country, look at people who have more better experience, more better exposure, more better involvement in governance and policy management system, and to now bring them on board just for the good of our people, to be able to work so that Nigeria can work well and benefit the masses.
Chief, you never can tell. He probably did that based on, the level of competence that these people actually have shown, in the time past.
And that as much, because I think that was not the major reason why they were appointed. They are appointed based on familiarization, consideration for maybe loyalty to him. It's not about loyalty to him. It's about loyalty to Nigeria.
Well, let me ask
Nigerians
you.
that are suffering.
Let me ask you, what is your assessment of these ministers and these ministries? It's more than 1 year since, President Bola Tinubu assumed duty as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay, let me take Minister of Agriculture for instance. Agricultural, they call it investment, could have been the easiest way for us to get it from these woods that we find ourselves, because he has a very short gestation period, for it to start to produce and generate wealth. What has the Minister of Agriculture done? Is it by sharing rice or importing rice or going about? The president himself made a very pronounced public statement, policy statement. Because whatever comes from the president eventually turns to policies. And he said that they will be tilling 500,000 hectares of land every year so that Nigerians can have food on the table. As the Minister of Agriculture run with that policy, has he tilled 1 hectare of land anywhere in this country? Has he done anything to show that they are interested in making sure that Nigerians have food sufficiency? These are questions that we're beginning to answer. And what are their policy as regards, making that cash crop? Look at what cassava is doing all over the world. We're the largest exporter of cassava. People can't get and people can't get food, and yet we see import cassava, and we have very what is it, 42 the hectare, I don't know the figure for the land we have for arable, for farming. What we have for farming is enough for us to import, feed our neighboring communities, build ethanol factories that will export product out of the world, and also give Nigeria the opportunity to generate foreign exchange. So what is the Ministry of Agriculture done? What is their plan? If you look at the last time the Ministry of Agriculture worked was under Akiumi Adesina.
All right.
When there were wallets to transfer whatever that was meant for the farmers, go directly to the farmers.
Okay. Without making it look like we are here to attack, the personality of the agriculture minister, let's talk about
we'll go
other...
one by one. I think
okay.
the other ministries.
Okay, let's talk about other ministries now.
So, what other ministry are we talking about?
I mean, the Minister of Women Affairs. We have the FCT minister there as well. I know you're one person that's been.
Sometimes I must give comment. I must commend the woman of
Women Affairs
Minister of Women Affairs for her tenacity, for her courage. It's not that she has shown some series of policy direction for the ministry. No, but I know that you can see the intent and good purposes of a person. But it's not that the person has that knowledge of how these policies of women affairs are run, because I've worked with a lot of women in this industry. Because as an IPAC former IPAC chairman, we work with women in politics forum, women in entrepreneurship forum, what they call the association for women. We all those things so that we can build up the economy of the participation of women in politics. I've not seen a policy direction, but I've seen some actions of her trying to say this money you are spending should go directly to helping women than spending 200 million naira on seminars, which is something that I also pursue. It's something I believe in. I've seen her where she interrupt programs, interrupt events, and say, I'm not aware of this event. Are you spending 200 million naira on such event? When we have discussed with Mr. President that such 200 million should be used to better the lives of rural community women, which is something I subscribe to. But she must wake up and have a policy direction towards that, and a policy implementation template that will be more effective than just running on an irrational, impulsive, attitude of managing the ministry as big as that.
All right, now let's talk about the Minister of Finance and coordinating, Minister of the Economy. I mean, this minister actually has come under fire so much in recent times, probably because of, the statement is made for a number of Nigerians. The statements are not actually in tandem, with the reality on ground. I mean, at some point in time, he came out to say that the economy is actually on the right path, whereas the reality on ground is saying something, different. I mean, what are your thoughts with regards to this ministry? I mean, in terms of, performance so far?
I've said it, as soon as you give somebody's appointment based on loyalty, they'll speak based on loyalty. They don't want to offend their payment, those who have appointed them. I've seen the last under Jonathan, when Minister of Finance, Okonjo-Iweala was Minister of Finance, and she used to talk and said Nigeria is not going this way. Nigeria is doing this badly. And that's how they were getting it right. But what they're doing right now cannot speak and say government is bad, because you look as if he's attacking his own master. But they are forgetting that their responsibility under the Constitution is not to be loyal to the person of the president, but to be loyal to the future development, good governance, and prosperity of the people of Nigeria. So it is painful to see such things coming out when you know that this government, as we speak to you, dollar is 1,590 naira. The BDC got it at 1,500 something yesterday from the CBN, and in the open market is about 1,600. So when you look at that, and you look at the cost of transportation and the inflation on food, which is food inflation alone is over 40%. Inflation on headline inflation, which is the overall inflation, is about 33%. Yes, it has dropped with 1.something%, but that is not significant enough to affect the life of the common man. So if you look at the overall performance of the economy, imports have dropped. We are not exporting. They are not building new factories. Many companies and corporations have closed shop. So how is the economy performing? We are talking about the cost of energy. The cost of energy has tripled, and the cost of energy affects everything: production, movement, services, and everything. So if the government has if not because of Dangote refinery that come on board, and yet you can find out that bureaucratic bottleneck with government agencies like pricing regulations, NMPC, are still trying to stop through that process. Because I believe that if you have a private entity that has invested in putting refinery that will generate PMS for our people after like 52 years of inability of government to take that decision. What we should do is to allow that government, that private entity, to run just like any other private entity and take tax from them. Because if you over-regulate the process, if you look at we are NNPC, we must make profit. Let's buy from that Dangote refinery at 15 naira and sell to Nigeria at 60, sell to how they call it, distributors, marketers at 62, and then sell to Nigeria at 61 in your own private filling station. You have created another problem bottleneck.
No.
So we should allow an open market policy where demand and supply will determine the cost of PMS, and based on the production cost.
All right. I mean, talking about energy crisis, it also, brings to mind the recent calls, from some Nigerians, as a matter of fact, not all Nigerians, but some Nigerians with regards to the petroleum minister. Why do we always have, issues with whoever is saddled with that responsibility? I mean, every administration.
We don't have the petroleum, the minister of this is the Tinubu now.
So
is the president.
So
why will as a president, I as a president, or he as a president, or whoever become president, or you, will want to be ahead of the head of the Ministry of Petroleum? The most important agency that you want to be the head are three agencies: Ministry of Education, Ministry of Agriculture, and the Ministry of Defense. Because the Constitution was very clear. It says that the primary purpose of governance is to provide security for lives and property. So government was the initiators. The vision behind the Constitution is that when there's security, people will come to invest. When people prosper, they will have property, and these are the reasons why economy boom all over the world. If you have security issues that are not working, so I think that it is a misplacement of priorities for people who become president to want to be minister of petroleum, because we can generate even more. Go and look at what happened in Florida, what they generated over the period of time from agricultural investment. Well, look at what is happening all over the world in Malaysia from palm produce. We can generate more from agriculture than in crude oil.
But just to butch you real quick, the Chief of Army Staff recently, I think a couple of days ago, he said that, and I quote, right, it is an erroneous belief that security is to be provided and, ensured without interruption only and exclusively by the security agencies.
What he was trying to convey was wrongly conveyed. His worry is that Nigerians are not participating in the process of ensuring that security agencies get necessary information. But the way he put it, he's trying to blame Nigerians for their inadequacy of the security agency to protect Nigerians. That's not how it's done. If you're given a job, you do your job, and without, even where there's shortcomings, you find a way to fill that gap. The Nigerian security agencies are trying. I think a lot of them have given their life for this country. They have invested so much in trying to protect this the country from going into disintegration, despite the enormous challenge of security that we have faced over a very long period of time since the emergence of Boko Haram. But there's a clear thing that must be done. There should be more investment, like Unduka Babana said. It said in one of his addresses just whether yesterday, I saw it on news yesterday, that there should be more, like we should have that industry that produce weapons, invest more money so that Nigerians can start to produce their own domestic rifle and other thing for operation. Pakistan is doing it. Other countries are improving on it. So Nigeria must look inward, invest 25%, like he has said, in education, in defense, and in agriculture, so that when there is food sufficiency, people will first eat before they talk about being rich. If you look at the level of malnutrition, the level of kwachoko that is happening in this country today, it's as a result of serious hunger. And the only thing that's keeping this fabric of this country from imploding is the fact that we have one economic system that nobody has studied, an economy,
which is
communal assistance, communal relationship. You sit here today, you are sending 5,000 to relative, 3,000 out to relative, 10,000 out to. That is what keeps them. If everybody today say no, we're not helping relative, let me tell you, there will be a major problem. Because if you follow the system that is happening in UK, where every man to himself, that is why government is breathing well. Because people work for family. So government must be able to work for people. So just like people work for family. So the defense system must improve on its information gathering and must not remain in a system that they are only reactive. They must be proactive, so that they need these things, because The intelligence unit of the Nigerian Armed Forces, the NIA, the DSS, must stay away from state protection and concentrate more on lives and property of all Nigerians. That if they push more energy into that and push more manpower into that and push more resources into that direction, yes, they will be able to apprehend any untold plan towards our country.
I'd like to ask you what you actually think, the performance yardstick or, this reshuffle will be hinged on. But, taking a look at, the progression of events and also your own perception, with regards to the appointment of these ministers. For you think it was just a case of, consolation and familiarization.
Political consideration, and tribal inclination.
Really?
Yes.
Is there no balance in this cabinet?
Where's the balance? Just by glancing of the screen, I know how many names I can see here that I can call for you.
Okay, all right.
I can call names for you.
That's by the way now. But what do you think, this assessment, will be hinged on?
The assessment should be hinged on performance. Performance, competent, merit, and ability. Should be hinged on that every Nigerian before the law is equal. That's what it should be hinged on. It shouldn't be looking at the effect of people and say, I don't like this face. Can the person do the job? Nigerians must get out of these woods. Can the person perform these duties? Whether the person, you look, in a civilized client, it doesn't care whether the person is in your party or not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether the person is a political, or whether the person is a politician or a party carrying member. If it could just be a citizen that believe that this country will work for all of us, go and pick that label man. Pick the man, pick them, let them work for us. You can work with anybody, you are commander-in-chief. You can't be looking for specific people that you don't know your life. That's not how commander-in-chief works. That's not how president of the Federal Republic of a country should behave. You must look at competence, merit, and ability. Look at the citadel of knowledge. Go to the university. Go and look at professors. If you look at what they are saying, their ideas, and you can pick them up. What is the essence of making people professors, making them how they call experts in their field when they cannot be used for the development of this country?
All right. So you are saying that again, the appointment of these ministers was actually based on, personal sentiment, personal sentiment, and not really about competence.
No, it's not about.
So
competence.
are you also saying that we have more of politicians as opposed to technocrats in the Tinubu-led cabinet?
I won't say that, because I've seen politicians who are technocrats. I've seen technocrats that are politicians. You understand?
But what actually differentiates a politician from a technocrat?
A technocrat is somebody who believes in just development, doesn't want to participate
in politics.
But as soon as you appoint the person as a minister, the person has become a politician.
Really?
So of course, there's nothing you can do about it. You have to. Party people will come to you. They'll tell you, we need it. You are from a constituency. You are from a local government. You are from a state. People will see you as a leader of their community. So, but every human being naturally should be a politician, because politics is a means to savaging this country. Staying away and remaining that you don't want politics because it's dirty is leaving it for dirty people to manage our economy. It's like proud to say. When you say that you can't be part of politics, you leave it for people with inferior sense of judgment to judge issues on your behalf. So okay. What we should have is a system that enthrone merit over mediocrity. A system that enthrone competence over tribalism. A system that brings about character and purpose over all this joke that we found in our system. Because at the end of it all, it is legacy that matters. How are you going to be remembered? Are you going to be remembered for doing good for our people? Or you are going to be remembered for making them feel pain for a period of being governors? Government office is trusted. Nobody has stayed forever. So if you call Nigerians today, tell them to list how many ministers that serve under Obasanjo. They might not remember up to 2. If you call Nigerians today, tell them to list ministers that serve under Yar'Adua. They might not remember up to 2. Even Jonathan that passed, you can't even remember up to 5. I asked you to call today. So, because these ministers are coming without having positive impact on the life of our people.
All right. Well, now we know, of course, that the Minister of Power, Deba Adelabu, in recent times, he's come under heat, from Nigerians, with regards to the challenges in the power sector. But it appears, power supply has actually improved drastically, right?
I'm not an engineer, but people say during rainy season there's a lot of water in the dam. we'll wait for the dry season and see what happens. I think one of the things the minister has done is the fact that the tariff is killing Nigerians, and they talk about energy theft, that Nigerians are stealing energy, and that's why energy is expensive. And I think because of the level of incompetence with the discos, with the distribution companies, who don't know how to manage business because they have government investment in it. They got it very cheap without proper due process. They didn't get it by merit. Also, this is the problem in Nigeria. These distribution companies were giving this issue, big infrastructure, Nigerian power infrastructure, without competitive bidding. That was going to bring those with competence into it. Because if you distribute, if you are a businessman, and you know you are going to generate money from selling power, why not distribute the meter free to everybody?
Well, at some point in time, we're made to understand that the government, the federal government, did not keep up, with the bargain. I mean, its own side, its own end of the bargain, and that's the reason why a number of Nigerians are yet to, get, these meters.
As I'm talking to you, government has brought over, is it $500 million? I can't know the amount strictly now, but they have collected money from a loan that will provide free meter to Nigerians. You'll be sure that these meters will still be on sale. So we need to have a proper check. We need to also have an audit of the distribution company themselves.
Right.
How much tax are they paying? How are they generating this money? So that this under reporting of revenue, we must investigate it. That is what the minister should be doing. That's what the minister should be doing.
Right. No pun intended, but I actually did a little bit of sightseeing here and there. By that I mean I went through some of the posts you made recently, and the most recent one has to do with the absence of major highways, maybe from the north to the south or west to the east and all of that. Of course, we understand that these highways are supposed to aid, some sort of business, relations, between, different regions, of the country. But that takes us now to the Minister of Works, and the controversial Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. I mean, that aside, but do you think this man has actually performed well, so far?
For me, I think there's so much terminologies he has applied, engineering skills. He's a very brilliant man.
Okay.
Because whenever he defines this this project about roads from Calabar Coastal Road, the current one approved is Badagry Sokoto Express Highway. You will see that he knows he knows his onions about the issue of engineering. But what we are saying now is about delivering this project. See, if Nigeria has proper, look at Abuja. Abuja is a failed city in a lot of ways.
What do you mean by that?
There's a lot of concentration in the municipal. Let me explain to you.
Okay.
There's a lot of concentration in the municipal. Even scraping road, I should stay for another 10 years. And whereas there are no roads in the rural communities. I don't live in the rural community, but I feel the pain. You don't develop a city by just concentrating in one place. If you look, what Gusape is today is with the effort of the minister. You create infrastructure, you create drainages, you create road, people will move there. If you create the same thing in Kuje, in Kara, in Kubwa, in Gwagwalada, people will move there because there will be facilities and there will be road, access road. As I speak to you, Abuja is the only major city in the world that has no intra-connecting train that can run around the city. It's the only major city, major modern city in the world. That this one that they did to airport, it's just a recent addition. We should have a train running from Nyanya to Gwagwalada, from Gwagwalada to Kuba, from Kuba to Kuje. With that, the cost of transportation within our society would have reduced. You won't see everybody on the road carrying vehicles and running up and down. So we have a problem that we are not willing to solve, and we are just rebuilding and expanding the same problem. For the coastal highway, for me, the initiative is not bad.
Right.
But I have criticized the implementation process, the cost that is not transparent. The environmental impact assessment was not made public. At the time they started, they didn't even have it. These are the issues that the underlying issues I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because the more you open up roads, the more cities, villages in those communities get access to exposure, to communication, to people. And with that comes trade. With that comes opportunities for those communities that have been, maybe forgotten. The forgotten people of this country. So with this high express, I don't have a problem with it. But what is the government's commitment? What are the companies that government is handing this thing to? What is the process of the awarding of that contract? Is it transparent? Does it accommodate professional companies that are good in the construction of such roads? These are just my own concern.
All right.
Nothing else.
Okay, the conversation will continue after this commercial break. Do stay with us. This is Eagles Outlook. We'll be back in a moment.
My people, the thing where they happen for my area,
Do you think I will now find out that you have contract to bring fresh girls?
I brought you from the gutters. Who gave you all the connects? MDG who? Without me, you would have been nobody. But
Join Media Coalition and Awareness to Halt Human Trafficking, MICAT, on I Wish I Knew radio drama every Saturday at 10 a.m. Let us join hands and kick human trafficking out of our communities. I Wish I Knew radio drama, brought to you by MICAT in partnership with the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, and funded by the Embassy of Denmark in Nigeria.
Welcome to Feminism Friday, where every Friday is a celebration of gender equality and empowerment. Tune in to Eagles FM 102.3 from 11 a.m. to 12 noon on Friday for inspiring talks on gender roles, women's rights, and inclusivity. Join us for inspiring conversations, insightful discussions, and the best part is that you get to contribute and be part of the program. The show will spotlight the champions of feminism and offering actionable steps for a just and equitable Nigeria. Feminism Lab, where your voice makes a difference. Take action with us now. The program is a production of Feminism Lab, sponsored by Friedrich Ebert Stiftung, Nigeria.
Heroes walk among us, unnoticed, uncelebrated, yet their impact shapes our nation. On the 2nd of October 2024 at 4 p.m., Nigeria will gather to honor the unsung heroes, those who have gone beyond the call of duty to uplift our great nation. Join us at the Nigerian Patriotism Awards at the prestigious Nikon Luxury Hotel, Abuja. Be part of this historic event. Together, let's celebrate the individuals who represent the true spirit of Nigeria. The Nigerian Patriotism Awards 2024, October 2nd, 4 p.m., Nikon Luxury Hotel, Abuja. Together, we rise. For more information, visit nigeriapatriotism.org or call 0803 059 6162, 0703 779 9765.
Get the desired clients for your business and service and get your phones buzzing. From the 1st of September to the 31st of December, you can advertise and reach a large audience with the Eagles FM Ember Months package. Advertise on any of our platforms and get a whopping 30% discount. That's right, 30% discount. For more information, please call 080 5919 8658, 080 5919 8658, or 081 5791 7278, 081 5791 7278. The Eagles FM 102.3 FM Ember package is a sure way to getting a wider clientele for your business and service.
Thanks for staying with us. This is Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja, your radio experience you can count on. And just to remind you that you can visit our website at www.eaglesfm.com. Download our app on iOS and Play Store. Link with us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now X, and TikTok at Eagles FM Abuja. This is Eagles Outlook, and we've been discussing, the President Tinubu's cabinet shake-up, of course, we understand that lobbying has actually intensified, to retain, positions, by these ministers, and it actually brings to mind whether or not this, development or this move would actually ensure, more efficiency, from, these cabinet members or ministries, if you like. And I've been speaking with an anti-corruption activist and also the National Secretary, Coalition of United Political Parties, and also former IPAC chair or president, if I'm not mistaken, the person of Peter. Thank you so much, for staying with us. Right. Before we went on that break, we actually, we were analyzing these ministries almost one after the other. And sincerely, we might not be able to touch on all the ministries that we have because indeed, the President Tinubu-led, administrations and cabinet is actually a large one. And that actually, brings to mind the readiness or, the readiness, I think that would be the word, to reduce the cost, of governance. You also take a look at your own side report that has actually suggested that we reduce, some ministries or the number of ministries that we have. We scrap some, we merge some, and whatnot. But recently, a new ministry was created, if I'm not mistaken, the Ministry of Livestock. And I recall also that you were also very vocal about, that ministry. You actually lambasted, in strong words, that idea. But we're not going to dwell on that at the moment. Let's talk about the FCT. The nation's capital. For a number of, FCT residents, the FCT minister has actually been on, his toes, doing his best just to ensure a very safe, a very clean, FCT, a modernized, city befitting, for a nation's capital. What are your thoughts in that regard?
I think Nigerian development plan for FCT is very faulty, because if you're going to have a modern city, as I speak to you, in apart from areas like that were there before we came into, and some parts that Erufai touched before we came into democracy in 1999, especially as relating to FCT, there's no investment in pipe-borne water arrangement in FCT. You pass an estate. If the estate had 500 housing units, you see 500 standing borehole overhead tanks. So you don't have build a city in that direction. You understand? You build a city and you clean up the process. You lay the foundation. You must not be the one to do all the roads, but you do a specific thing that will give the city the uniqueness it deserves in the community of global city, ranking global cities around the world. And if you look at the road that they are scraping, please, I challenge anybody to let's go to some roads that I've seen, like the one in opposite John Paul, the one opposite the Catholic Church in Asokoro. They're pondering. The road that was done is worse than what was there. I challenge anybody. There's ponding. Ponding means when road construction gather water and stay there, and then you find out that there's no balance. The Catholic Church Church of Assumption, Asokoro, and then you Pope John Paul and other places. I can mention a lot of places.
That's close to the CBN?
No, not close to the CBN. It's close to the ECOWAS Secretariat.
Okay.
You see the pondering. You see the road, how shapeless it has become. And you find out that, some of these roads even have a lifespan of 10 years. Why not let's just build communities and open up Abuja and look at Kiami and look at Kaura and look at, like I mentioned before, there are a lot of people, Karo, is not community in this place that has no road. Jukwe has no road. Karshi has no road.
No, but work is ongoing. The Apo Karshi Road.
No. The Apo, the Karshi I'm talking about is the one.
Different.
You don't just do the express road. There are community roads where people have built and they are living. There are no streets. When no roads, I'm not saying the Apo Karashi road is going. It's been long for ages. I hope they complete it this time. That is not the issue. The issue I'm talking about, the people living in that place. They've not seen road.
All right. I guess our listeners are actually itching, of course, the studio lines have been buzzing. They probably have, one or two things to say with regards to this, topic of discussion. At this juncture, you can call in to share your thoughts on 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 090-9705-4450. Please, when you call in, make sure to, stay civil and avoid the use of vulgar or obscene language. Do well as well to, make your contribution very brief so that we can accommodate, diverse views. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and location, please.
Yes, my name is Preston and I'm calling from Gwagwalada area council.
Please go ahead.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, it's been a privilege being on set with Oga Peter Ame. God bless you for your contributions. God bless you for everything you have been saying.
Thank you. Thank
People like you are very rare. And more especially for people who are very outspoken like you. Talking about Abuja, I would just say most of the things we are saying, if I'm to start with the minister, the Federal Capital Territory Minister, there's Yoson Wike. Yes, he's doing his best. But I will tell you the gospel truth. Someone like Oga Peter Ame is the kind of person we need for him to see that what people refer to as the best is not really good enough. He has nailed it. It is not just to beautify the city, outwardly, but inwardly people are dying. It's just like taking a vehicle for body work. And, you just concentrate on the exteriors without really looking at the interior parts of the vehicle. The inner cabins, the engines, the powertrains, and the rest. That is exactly what I feel Oga Peter here is trying to make clear.
All right.
And urgent attention is needed, truly, because the economy of this country cannot really grow. Let us even start with FCT on its own rather. The economy of FCT cannot grow. Tell me there is no, it's the only city whereby we don't have rail lines going around the city. And that is a flop. Then talking about the CNG buses they recently commissioned, sincerely, I'm yet to see one of it. There are so many things. I just don't know where to hold on to, but
All right.
I'll tell you the truth. It's just that I don't want to start using words.
Thank you so much.
With this present administration, it is more or less like we going in circles.
All right, thank you so much.
A bundle of contradictions.
Thank you so much. Let's leave it here. Thank you so much for your line of thought. Hello, good morning to you. Hello. All right, please do well to call back on 090-9705-4450, 090-8766-8888. You can also reach us on 090-7353-0044. Hello, good morning to you. Hello. Hello, are you there? Good morning.
Good morning, Ife.
Yes, good morning. Your name and location, please.
Thank you. This is Alami from Central Area. I greet our guest. I think our guest, he has made some valid points. However, I'll just quickly point to our guest that there are three tiers of government. You have the federal, the state, and the local government. I'm sure our guest is very much aware that 99% of the roads, the road network in the area councils, the places we had mentioned, Karachi, Garunyanya, and all of that, these roads are constructed by the FCT administration, not the local government. So that has always been my concern. If we are going to be focusing on, what the state or the federal government should do, and we are excusing, the local government, let me remind our guests that the person in charge of, the candidate and the AMAC local government chairman is a PDP candidate, not an APC man. So what we should be doing is, what we should be saying is, how can we hold the local government accountable? If the local government are contributing and also building the roads, their own responsibility, complementing the contributions of the federal, as far as FCT is concerned, we would have a more developed, and a more, a more infrastructurally developed FCT. And I also tell you, Nigeria, Abuja is the face of Nigeria to the world. If you are coming from abroad, anywhere you're coming to Abuja, you come to the center, the major city centers. So I think it makes sense, that we focus, the infrastructural development first of the face of Nigeria to the outside world before we would think of, pushing it to the local councils. Again, it all boils down to what are the local government, the 7 area councils, what are they doing with their locations and the revenue that they are generating? Apart from Lagos, There is no other, local government council that can say, they are more autonomous. Abuja have 100% autonomy as far as their local government resources is concerned. What are they doing with all of these resources? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Please take note of some of these concerns. You get to react.
This is a very valid point.
All right. Well, let's take some of the messages we have on the WhatsApp platform this morning. This one here says, "Good morning. Concerning President Tinubu cabinet reshuffling, please, I want to plead with our president to find a substantive petroleum minister to handle the NNPCL so that Nigerians can know the truth. I mean, as to what's going on in the NNPCL presently, the NNPCL is badly managed. Become President Tinubu is not ubiquitous to handle Nigerians and oversee the NNPCL. He needs to find a substantive petroleum minister to head the NNPCL. All right, this is what we need in Tinubu new cabinet." Abbas from Dutse, thank you so much. This one here, Samuel from Kuje says, "Greetings to you, Omoefe. One thing is to do cabinet reshuffle, another thing is to bring up credible and progressive people on board. What the president did was to appoint friends and allies who supported him to be in office as ministers. Reshuffling them is to just bring another set of people who will continue from where those ones stopped. Our present day leaders are just after what will benefit them and their families and not the masses. Nigeria is bleeding and the masses are suffering under this government. We have capable men and women in this country, but they will not appoint them because such people will put sand into their gari." Thank you and have a fulfilled day. All right, Samuel, thank you very much for that message. This one here says, "Good morning. I'm listening from Nasarawa State. I greet your guest. The reshuffle should start with the president, who happens to double as Minister of Petroleum. He's done poorly too. The Minister of Finance in this government is not in touch with the reality regarding what we're going through. He spoke without fear that Tinubu was doing well, that the economy is improving without giving us any indices. The Minister of Agriculture can do much better. E.g., NYC members could be used by the Ministry of Agriculture to cultivate large hectares of land and also encourage them by giving them incentives. Many NYC members are jobless and don't really have much to do. The Minister of Sport is almost zero performance. Many national teams don't have a coach. The disabled who traveled for competition have to borrow wheelchair before competing." Terekinbu Hundu, thanks for that message. Good morning, Omoefe, and a very good morning to our guest in the studios. This is James from Suleja. The cabinet reshuffle is long overdue and an indictment on the government of its failings on so many fronts. It's even laughable the presidency is berating ministers for not engaging the media enough to highlight its achievement. Propaganda can only cover up failings for so long. The government have been more interested in playing politics than getting down to the business of governance. Supporters of the government have always claimed Nigerians complaining about the government as sore election losers while trying to sell the narrative that Nigerians are the problem. Are Nigerians not genuinely struggling under all the anti-people policies of the government? We want to pretend the Minister of Petroleum hasn't failed woefully simply because he's the president, but we continually call out the NNPCL boss who answers to the minister. The CBN governor has been on a policy somersault. Policy somersault role that is further digging Nigerians into a hole by trying to apply cosmetic touches to deep-lying economic issues, finance, agric, defense. Okay, James from Suleja, thanks for that message. I do not think we have any voice notes, so I think I'll just go right ahead and let you call in to share your thoughts on the topic of discussion this morning. Can the planned, reshufflement of Tinubu's cabinet ensure efficiency or more efficiency, if you like? Yes, that's the question we're asking this morning, and you can call us on 090-8766-8888. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, your name and location, please.
Yeah, this is Uzo.
Uzo from where?
From Babalada.
All right, please go ahead.
Yes, I really don't have much to say. Just like I would suggest I would contribute, everything concerning this reshufflement is just a bundle of contradiction. We've not made any progress, and from the way things are going, we're not making any progress. It's just a smoke screen. You're just putting people there based on godfatherism and loyalty. So just like the guest in the studio has spoken, everything they are doing there is just a waste of time. If Mr. President wants to be sincere with himself, let him start from his office as the Minister of Petroleum and see how far he has led Nigerians. Let him see how far he has brought us from when he took over to where we are now. Even you, as a staff in Eagle FM, you will be honest with yourself that you're not finding it funny. The way it used to be and the way it is now with you, be honest with yourself, it is not funny. Then lastly, I have to say, this alarming guy that is always calling, I'm not trying to throw tantrums here or being abusive. Let him always talk. Let him always talk sensibly. What is PDP missing? Since the guest speaker has been talking, has he mentioned anything about any party?
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your contribution and also observation. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think you'll be our last caller for today because of time. I'll come back to you now, Chief. I mean, what are your thoughts with, the contributions that have been made thus far?
The contributions are in order. For me, he has to know about Abuja Master Plan. And he has to also understand that the FCT minister has no power over any land in FCT. Based on the constitution, these lands are invested authority in the hands of the president. And whatever exercise is exercising is with the president. And we have FCDA, Federal Capital Development Authority. Right. We have a lot of issues. What I have mentioned here, I have not, like the first caller talked about, bundle of contradictions, with where governance have been run in Nigeria, and that's the truth. People don't want to see, they are seeing it from the prism of party politics and party. Well, I'm seeing it from the point of Nigeria, being a Nigerian. I feel my tank in around 2015 with 20-something thousand naira. Today is 100,000 naira to fill the tank of my car. So I'm not a government official. I don't belong to APC that is empowered or have a patronage from government. I'm a businessman. And I think that if this affects my pocket, it should affect the pocket of even somebody that is even lower than me. So I see the fact that area councils have 100% autonomy. They are the only one that enjoy 100% autonomy across length and breadth of Nigeria. There's no local government that has the kind of autonomy. Because INEC conduct their elections. They have all their resources to themselves. They participate in them. They have failed. Areas that have been left for them, whether in those days they were managing, they failed. They have failed because there's no supervision. The citizens are docile. They are not asking questions. This governance thing you see, it's not between go and vote alone. There must be a way you go to the area council office and ask them, in these 2 years, what have you done? Citizens must demand accountability from those they have elected. You don't become docile, you become act as if nothing concerns you, and you expect things to function. Yesterday, I heard in the news when the Minister of FCT said he's going to take 10% of the IGL to pay teachers. Why would the area council not pay teachers? Why would the teachers even keep silent and not fight for their right? Okay. So okay, if you have other questions.
Yes. I mean, because of time is not our friend at the moment. But in a yes or no response, do you see the possibility of this shake-up, ensuring more efficiency in the long run?
I believe in Nigeria, and I hopefully believe that they should do what will work for all of us. Okay. That's my decision. I can't say yes. I haven't seen the outcome. But I believe that all I'm pleading is that the president should look beyond party affiliations, should look beyond party consideration, should look beyond tribal inclination, and should look beyond religious understanding. Okay. And make sure that these people are pig. If the man is a pagan and deliver goods to all Nigerians, let it be. If he's a Christian, he does. If he's a Muslim, let Nigerians have...
Even if the man is a native doctor.
If let Nigerians have the benefit of good governance and enjoy it. Okay. The resources is here.
All right.
We're blessed with human and natural resources.
In 1 minute, can you please, let us in on, your top 5, best performing ministers?
The top 5, the Women Affairs Minister, I will always choose.
Number 1, the controversial one?
Yes, she's controversial, but I see the intention. I've not seen the policy like I told you.
Okay.
But I see the intention. Okay. I see what she's trying to do.
Okay.
Then I used to have issues with the Tinubu, the Minister of Interior. But I see the proactiveness, and I believe with time he will continue to do, good, and do better. For me, let's just leave the rest like that.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much, Peter Ame, an anti-corruption activist and also National Secretary, Coalition of United Political Parties, and also former IPAC chair. Thank you so much for talking to us this morning.
Thank you, Nigerians, and thank you for having me.
And also to the listeners and also the callers, those who sent in voice messages, to the WhatsApp platform. We also understand that we have some messages on, the Facebook, our page, but we really can't touch on all of those. But thank you all so much for keeping us company on the show this morning. I'd like to state very clearly that the views expressed by the guests and the callers were not influenced by Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. Until next week, I am Omoefe Peace Osemere. Good morning.